Hey everybody, it's Peter here from Strong Healthy Women. How are you going today? Happy Sunday. Have a look at how glorious the day is today. It is absolutely spectacular here in sunny Queensland. So if you're chiming in for the first time today, or if you are a regular, post below and let us know where you are coming in from. And today, as normal, we have Sel with us. Hey Sel, how are you going today?
Good morning. Good, thank you. How are you?
Good, good, good. You inspired me to get outside today. And the wonderful thing is that it took me a little bit longer because I worked out that I can still stay hardwired and still get outside in the sunshine. So,
Oh,
because
awesome.
as everybody knows that I'm always pixelated, generally as a rule, always pixelated and always delayed. So, anyway, so I need to keep that hardwiring in if I can do it. So, everybody, today we are talking about what goes on with the body and body fat as we're aging. And so, all week we have been talking about three components. One which you don't so much have control over, and the other two you do have quite a bit of control over. And so, what we want to do is break those down for you today. So, Sal, do you want to tell us what those three components were?
The three components that you have control
Yeah,
over or you don't have control, you have control over
the three
is,
components we've been talking about.
yes. So we've been talking about BMR, which is your basal metabolic rate. We've
Yep,
been talking about your daily activity that you can ramp up
yep.
and thermic food. So the food
Thermic
that you
effect of
can,
food.
yes, food you can eat that can ramp
Yeah,
your metabolism up as well.
y- absolutely. And the thing is that unfortunately, as we age, our metabolism. So all of this is all about our metabolism. So it actually slows down as we age, and we generally, as a rule, slow down as well too. And I know for myself. I was on a hike some years back, and I'm closer to 60, and one of the ladies was in her 60s, and we said there's such a difference that seems to happen in your body, like every 5 years, 50. You don't seem as active as what you were at 45, and then 55 and 60, and it's just a natural process. So we really need to keep that in the forefront of our mind, that we aren't as active, so that we are more conscious to be more active. And when we are more active, what that does is revs up that metabolism a little bit. So let's explore food a little bit more then. So, what can we do with food? There are certain foods that will um, give us that kickstart that we want, give us that boost in metabolism. So, do you want to explore some of those for ourselves?
Our favourite one, protein.
Mm-hmm.
Eating
Protein, yeah,
protein, yes. Protein, our body has to work harder to break that protein down. It's not as easy
yep,
as breaking down your fats and your carbohydrates. And I think the number that we looked at on Wednesday was 20 to 30% increase
yeah,
with your
20 to
protein.
30%, yeah.
Yeah. And so that's why we are big believers in protein in every meal.
Yeah, exactly right. And I mean, simple things like, some herbs and spices and everything can really have an impact. Like something as simple as chili. And
Chili,
boy,
yes.
did we get a big hit of chili last night. But Paul decided to bring home these pre-done chili prawns, which I don't normally have. And so I cooked them up and I said to him, "You're never going to eat these." So I did some cauliflower rice with it and some veggies and everything like that. Thank goodness for the cauliflower rice, because that thing was just super hit with chili. And so I know during the week, over on Strong Healthy Women, we did post up some of the foods that can actually have an impact on speeding up your metabolism. So one of the other things that actually happens as we age is we tend to probably eat a little bit less as well too, because we have this thing in our mind that if we eat less, we're going to lose the body fat that we might want to lose. And that's not necessarily the case. And that's where the activity can come in, because the different types of activity that we do can have an impact on the muscle that we create in our body. So do you want to explore that a little bit with us today?
Yes. So, if we're doing strength training, which is, the
Mm-hmm.
number one thing to increase the muscle in your body, and by having more muscle mass in your body, or lean muscle mass in your body, you're going to up your metabolism, incredibly. And the best thing about that is having more lean muscle is, even if you're not working out, your metabolism
Mm.
is, your body is still working hard. So that means your metabolism has kicked it up, which is wonderful. It's still working even if you're not.
Yeah, and look, strength training comes in all shapes and sizes as well too. Just like we do, we come in all shapes and sizes, which is wonderful. Yeah, and that's the great thing, is that we are all unique, and what works for us and what we're going to be enjoying and be passionate about is going to be different for each and every one of us. And so with strength training, you could, for example, just simply wholly and solely use your body. There is so much you can do with your body. So if you think about it, squats, lunges, push-ups, the list goes on and on and on. And so what you're then doing is pushing and pulling against the weight of your body. So depending on how much you weigh, that can have a big impact on you building more strength.
Yes.
The other way to do it is to add weights into it. Now, this is
Yes.
one of your favourite topics as well too, Sal. Do you want to
Yes.
explore that a little bit for us?
Yes. Adding weights into your workout, that is challenging your body to work a little bit harder. And the thing
Mm,
about adding weights in is um, you can tell the strength that you're building. We just have to look at Christine, and Christine started off doing, I think she was 3 kilo weights when we had to go into isolation. And, it got to the point for
mm,
her where she knew that just wasn't enough. So she upped the ante,
yeah,
and I think she said she stole her son's 5 kilo weights. Um,
yeah,
but, and the great thing about adding weights into your workout is
mm,
um, you can really feel it, and it's that challenge that you're giving your body, and that satisfaction after you've challenged yourself, of knowing that you've done that.
Um, can you? Because I'm outside, I can't really read the TJ's posted up there.
Yeah.
Is there something that we need to cover off for her there?
Good morning, TJ. How are you? So
Hello, TJ.
TJ's just asked, do either of you drink a pre-workout, a powder mixed with water? What do you think of these? They sell at my nutrition store and supposedly have good, clean energy, amino acids, and give you a big boost in energy and improve athletic performance.
Okay. What's your thought on that, Sal?
I don't, TJ, but I make sure that I am having something to eat before my workout, about half an hour before. So it might be like half a banana. It might
Mm,
be, some nuts that I'm having, um, just so my muscles have that energy and my body has that
yeah,
energy. So I'm not going into my workout, you know, what would you call it?
yeah, yeah,
Half energy type thing.
yeah. I'm the same. I don't have a pre-workout energy drink as such. I actually have banana. I am a fan of the energy that you get from banana, and um, it really just gives me what I need to be able to do that workout. So it would be depending on the type of workout and how much you're actually doing as well too. I mean, for someone who was probably doing bodybuilding or something like that, they would probably, want to have something more substantial. But, for me, if I can, I will have that carbohydrate or those fats. So what Sel's talking about there is with the nuts, and that will give me the energy boost that I need in order to do my workout. And then after your workout, that's when you want that protein, because that protein then is going to help those muscles that you've put under stress recover more. So I would be having the protein after the actual workout. So
Yes.
that's my thoughts around it as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And you can also
So
do,
great question,
a little bit.
TJ. Thanks for asking.
Thank you for that, TJ. But I was just going to say, you can also do a little bit of research into it as well. Peter was just talking about bodybuilding. My brother-in-law, he does bodybuilding, and I know he uses a pre-workout with his exercising.
Yes.
But when he's not doing
Yeah.
bodybuilding, if he's not coming up into comp or anything, he's not using pre-workout. So, um,
Yeah.
I think it's everybody's choice, but just do a little bit of research into it.
Yeah. Yeah, and as I said, it really does depend on, the type of exercise that you're doing. I mean,
Yes.
I know that if I don't have that banana, that small banana before I do a workout, I actually don't have the energy that I would have. And, I used to always think, because I used to do a workout without eating, and I used to think I've got the energy, because I do. I wake up of a morning and I have energy, so I'm not lacking in energy. Um, so I used to always think, oh, I'm okay, I'll just do the workout. But what I did notice is that when I did start to actually have that little something before I did the workout, the energy and the effort that I put into the actual workout was a lot more. So I would
Yes.
definitely suggest, if you're not someone who eats, then yeah, definitely go ahead and do that. But don't have a full breakfast, because you probably find that your tummy is going to be really, really upset as well too.
Yes. Yes.
So I just want to jump back onto basal metabolic rate, because this was the first topic that we talked about on Monday. And I just want to explore that for everybody who missed that live that day. And that is what in a nutshell, it is basically what your body needs in order to sustain life. So, your cell production, your how it processes nutrients, your circulation, your breathing, your organs. And so what we did was we took a look at the calculation that you can do in order to work out exactly how many kilojoules you actually need just to sustain that body function. And it was one of those things that really highlights for you that you may be eating way less calories than what you actually need. And that's why you might find that you need those nano naps of an afternoon, and you just don't have the energy that you would normally have. Or you might even find that you've got that brain fog going on. So, you go to walk down the hallway. I know this. You go to walk down the hallway to do something, and you think, what was it I was about to do? I can't remember what that was. So, all of those things, just simply knowing, just understanding, okay, how much does my body actually need in order to just stand here and, do nothing? And when you can understand that, then it really gives you some insight into how much food actually does play in giving you the energy and the vitality and the health that you actually need in your life as well too.
Yes. And so
Yeah,
mine was because we did the calculation, and mine was at
we did.
1497. Yes, so mine was 1,497 kilos, just
Mm,
to ultimately be sitting here chatting with everybody today. And it's
yes.
interesting because that's just for me and for my everyday. Everyone's number will be different. That's for me and my everyday, just to be who I am.
Mm,
But if I was to go, so I'm doing strength training, so I need to increase those calories to keep that metabolism up. And a
yeah.
lot of the time, and we talked about this as well during the week, a lot of the time we go, okay, well, you know, rule of thumb is, 1,000 to 1,200 calories to lose weight.
Oh,
So
yeah.
if you look at my number of 1497 just to sustain life, just to repair my cells, to sit here, to chat to people, not to do any exercise or anything. And if I was to drop my calories to 1,200 calories a day, I'm not even getting enough food to do what my body needs to do.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
that's not something, I don't believe that is something that can be sustained.
No, that's right.
Yeah.
And so I want to just touch on, the things you don't have control over, because I think that's really important as well to understand. Look, we don't have control over our age. Our age is our age, and it just does keep moving on. It keeps going forward. And so, and it is important to understand that, what worked for us in our 20s and 30s doesn't necessarily work for us now. Our bodies are different, and we've had a lot of things go on with our body. And for a lot of us, we might be in menopause, or, we're past menopause. And so hormones can play a big factor in that as well too. So getting that hormone balance right is really, really important. So we don't have control over whether we're male or female. We are what we are. And so what happens is, and here's a really good example, because I know that for most ladies, they have done a diet in the past, and their significant other, if they're male, would have done it with you, because you usually don't want to cook 2 meals, and they lost more weight than what you lost. And we get frustrated with that. But the fact of the matter is that a male has more muscles than female, and so they will burn more calories. And that's why that muscle that we're talking about from that strength training is so, so important. And those hormone levels, as I said, it's really important to balance those out. And one of the hormones that you can probably relate to right now as we're talking is our stress levels, because with everything that's going on in the world, I think that many of us have higher stress levels than what we did have pre-COVID. And so we're worried about what life, taking life back to what it was. And I think now it's about becoming aware of that life is different, and we're more aware of how that's going to play out, and we're just adjusting to that. And so what can happen is that hormone imbalance, that stress, can cause our cortisol levels to go up. And that cortisol level can cause a thickening of the tummy, around the tummy area. And so the more we stress about that belly fat, then the more the cortisol levels going up. So yeah, we need to keep that stress factor really, really low. And it is one of the things that we're actually going to be talking about and giving you some tools during our free 5-day metabolic jumpstart challenge, which is happening on the 17th of August. So I think that's just one thing to really pay attention to, because there are 5 components, and that's what we're going to be covering over the 5-day challenge as well too. Genetics, we don't really have a lot of control over our genetics as well too. So the things that we do have control over when it comes to the thermic effect of food is the size of the meals, how often we eat, the composition of the meal, so what it's made up of, the patterns, and what our body composition is as well too, so how it's broken down. So one of the things is, and we've alluded to this, is the bigger the meal, the more calories you can burn. But what's important there is what's the size? So what is that size of that meal, and how is it made up? And that's what's important here. So, do you have protein? Do you have carbohydrates? Do you have healthy fats on your plate? And so if you can always look at your plate and go, every single meal needs to have these 3 things. And we have a perfect portion guide, which is just, using your hands. Maybe we should, if you're after that, say, can you send me the perfect portion guide below in the comments? And what I'll do is I'll shoot that out to you as well too.
Because
so Sal, you got anything to...
I was just going to say balance
Yeah,
between your macronutrients is so important as well. You know, we talk about having
yeah,
protein in every meal. You want to make sure your protein portion is, the correct size, but also that your protein portion is bigger than your carbohydrate portion, because you want your body to work harder and kickstart that
mm,
metabolism.
yeah. Look, and one of the things that I know that when I started eating differently, um, what happened was the amount of food I couldn't handle, so I broke it down. So I would have one breakfast, and then an hour and a half later, I'd be having another breakfast. And here's a really interesting thing: is when you change that frequency. So if you ate the same amount of calories over 3 meals to 6 meals and broke it down that way, you actually burn 2% more over those multiple meals. So I think that's really significant to know that as well too.
It is
So
because your body's
smaller and
not,
more often can work.
yes,
Mm,
because your body's not thinking that you're starving it. It's going to be 4 hours in between each meal rather than 2 hours in between each meal. So if it's that 2 or
mm.
3 hour mark, your body's got to work harder because it needs to get rid of stuff to let more stuff in.
Yeah. And of course, just going back to the exercise component as well, um, we were talking about strength training. The other type of exercise that's really good is high intensity interval training, because that really does, get that heart rate pounding. I'm a fan, and Sal and I are both certified in MetaFit. And that type of exercise just really stretches you, doesn't it, Sal?
Oh, yes, completely stretches you. and
Yeah,
the good
yeah.
thing is that you know at the end of it that you've put in that 110%. Um,
Yeah.
because you're sweating, your heart rate's up, that you've used all your muscles,
Mm, mm.
that's the best feeling in the world after a workout.
Yeah. And one of the stats is that 25% of people don't exercise over the age of 50. And what I see, I think it may very well be higher than that. So that was a little bit of old research that I was looking at. And so, I know that my medical fund was asked the question recently, and I could see the stats coming through on that. And I thought, wow, that's really interesting. But I think the other thing is that as we're aging, we become more aware that we are in that different stage of life and that we need to take care of ourselves. So we're more in tune with what we need. So which is a really, really good thing.
And I think too that the attitude changes from being in our 20s of it being we want to look good in a pair of jeans,
Mm,
to getting into that 40, 50, 60 years group, knowing that it's more than that. It's about
mm.
keeping flexible, keeping mobile, keeping strong, and it's more about our health.
Yeah, that's right. Not that we still don't want to fit into those skinny jeans. Well,
Yeah,
I mean, I do anyway. So
yours is your bikini.
I'm honest. My goal is to still be wearing a bikini in my 60s. So,
Yes, yep.
so yeah. So, hey, and I don't care if there's wobbly bits hanging out over the top or anything like that. I am who I am, and this is it.
And this
In
is
my mind, I'm rocking that thing.
it.
So, what you think about it doesn't matter.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's right.
Self-love, that's
Um,
what we all need.
yeah, we do need self-love. And I did actually put up a quote that I came up with the other day on my personal page, and I think I shared it to Strong Healthy Women, which is through self-love, through what was it?
Through
Through physical,
greatness.
through fitness, we find self-love or something along those lines. I can't remember exactly what the words were, but
Yeah.
yeah, I know that when I exercise, that I am totally focused on me. I'm not focused on anybody else. I'm seeing, you know, how my body is responding, you know, and what's going on in my head. And my head sometimes goes, oh, you can't push that any further. And then the other part of my head goes, yes, you can do it. And so, you know, I really then, you know, started to push through it. So, you know, we have these mind games and and play these things out in ourselves, and we care about ourselves, which is absolutely wonderful. So the other thing to be aware of, I think, is, and you started talking about this, Sal, was that our strength and our flexibility start to decline as we're aging. And just to put this into perspective for everybody, our flexibility declines from puberty and starts going down from there. And we talked about Olivia, your youngest, and how, you know, she's done cheer all her life, and then she's given it up recently, and how you can see how more tentative she is to do things now, because she's hit that, you know, that 15-year-old mark, and not as flexible. So, and that's why, you know, this is a time to really, really encourage her. And, you know, as women who are more experienced, who have that knowledge behind us, what's really important is that we share that knowledge with the younger generation coming through, and even like our grandkids, you know, really, really encourage them to be strong and fit, and to be self-confident, to love themselves just the way they are, and not to allow, you know, what other people, other kids think of them as well too, is really, really important.
And it's interesting. Can I just add to that too? Because
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah.
My sister, her son plays soccer, and so he's had a really bad foot of late, and he was referred to a podiatrist. So he's got issues happening in his growth plates, with his growth plates in his feet and that sort of thing.
Right.
But Kelly was telling me that the podiatrist said to her, you know, he has been advised not to quit his sport, not to quit soccer, but don't go out and run a marathon. So, you know, to still keep moving. But the podiatrist was telling Kelly that the biggest problem with girls is they give up sport, and they should never ever give up sport or moving, which is quite interesting. And a lot of us do. You know, we quit playing our team sport, or we stop doing that moving, because, you know, if we've got the kids or whatever, that's where the focus goes. So, ladies, keep moving.
What are you suggesting that I go back and start playing hockey? I actually saw someone recently who said that, come back and play Masters, and I've gone, oh, you know, I don't think so.
You're still running, and you're still doing your hiking, and you're still doing all those things, which is wonderful.
Yeah, it was a good team activity as well too, because you know, a lot of things that I actually do, I do alone. So, you know, having those other people around me was a good thing growing up as well too. So, yeah, and so strength. Let's just recap on strength as well too. That starts to decline from when we're 30. So if you are listening to this and you're 30, it's time to start strength training. So the other thing is that we did talk about weights, and body weight. You can use resistance bands as well too, medicine balls, kettlebells, or you could simply use a backpack and throw some, you know, stuff in the backpack and put your backpack on. And I know that, you know, I've done that in the past, is, you know, loaded up, you know, 30 kilos worth of weight into my backpack, which is a no. You're not supposed to carry that much weight. And because it's all based on your size and everything like that. So I'm an overtrainer. So if I know that I'm going somewhere and I know that I need the strength, the flexibility, and, you know, the mindset to do it, I really do push myself. So if the recommendation is this, then I go that next level. And that's because what I want to do is, when I get on that experience, I want to actually have a great experience, and not worry about my ability in that particular activity. And so I know that, I'm thinking about the hike that I did in Tassie and with Women's Fitness Adventures, and it was magnificent, but it poured raining almost every single day. And, we'd get to the top of the summit and have our photos taken, but you couldn't see anything. You couldn't see, you did just see the little thing on the top of the summit type of thing. So, but that's okay too, because we know that we did it, and it was a heap of fun as well too. So. All right. Have you got any further thoughts, Sal, that you want to share with everybody before we wrap up today?
With the activity, we were talking about the ramping up your activity and not so much with your
Yeah.
exercising, so park further away. This was one of the things I spoke about on Wednesday or Friday, all
Yeah.
the days of bonding. Park further, don't look for that close space to the supermarket front door, park further away.
Mm.
And when you walk into the supermarket, from wherever your car park is, pace it up a bit. You don't have to stroll there, get those extra steps in. The other thing is to take the stairs instead of a lift, and to get, that strength
Mm.
training in, because that will
Yeah.
build the strength in your legs. If you're out on your walk, use park benches for step ups, for your push ups, for your squats.
Yeah.
And we do have our Fit and Five guide, which is brilliant, for adding in that extra activity during the day.
Yeah, because activity breaks into two things, the physical structured type of exercise, and then a thing that they call NEAT, which
Yes,
is non-exercise activity thermogenetics. That's
yes,
what it actually means. So, if you think about it, just what you do in everyday life, like I'm standing right now, so you'll see me, I'm moving from side to side. So I'm actually using energy. So, I'm helping my metabolism ramp up. I'm helping myself burn body fat because I'm standing, rather than sitting, cleaning your teeth. If you think about this action, I'm using energy. And for a
yes,
challenge, use the other hand as well too. That just engages our mind with our body as well too when we're doing that. So that was something that we did last week in last month in the challenges, wasn't it?
yeah,
We gave the
yes,
ladies all different activities that focused on using their mind and really outside of the box as well too.
yeah,
So yeah, there's so many things that you can do that are non-exercise related that are actually activities. So you can do sit to stands in the ad breaks when you're watching TV, anything.
yeah.
So as long
Tricep
as you're
dips.
moving.
Yeah,
Tricep dips, yeah, yeah, we love a
yeah,
good tricep dip as well too.
yes.
Yeah. Okay, ladies, so that is it to wrap it up today. So we have talked about, topics that can be very, very heavy. So we talked about the basal metabolic rate and the thermic effect of food. So we hope what we've done today is just break that down into everyday language for you so that you can understand it that little bit more. And we've also, touched on activity and the impact that that can have on you and your aging body as well too. So if you are someone who is going, I really would like to lose a little bit of body fat, then, come join us on the 5-day Metabolic Jumpstart Challenge, which is starting on the 17th of August. We put the link up in the notes today as well too. So all you have to do is click and you will be in and ready to go. And we will be live each day talking about it. So, but make sure you register, because what's really important with registering is that you are going to get the guide, the worksheets, and you're also going to get daily emails through that, which is going to give you a lot more information and a lot more ideas about what you can do to actually, rev up that metabolism and, burn that little bit of extra body fat that you want to burn. So that's
Yes.
it for us today for Sunday Reflections. Thanks for joining me today, Sel.
Thank you for having me, as always. Thank you for joining us,
Very,
ladies.
And thanks everybody for tuning in today. Thanks TJ for your comments. Always love your questions. They're always
Yes,
very thought out and very right on the money when we're talking as well too. So take care, everybody. Have a great day, and we shall see you all on Monday. Bye, everybody. Bye, Sal.
Bye. Bye, Peter. Have a good day.
Bye.
Bye.
I will. Bye.